Alright everyone, welcome back to another video. Last time we left off with moving inland from the Lingayen Gulf, talking about the United States and their move through the Lingayen Gulf. Who would have thought? We're now on to Winner Takes Nothing. I take nothing. January 12th, 1945. Winged Victory looks down. Bedraggled citizens of La Roche, Belgium, stand beneath a World War I statue of Winged Victory and survey the ruins of their town. Driven from their homes by the Battle of the Belgian Bulge, they returned from the German retreat, only to find their homes a shambles. A few days later, the shell of Houffalize, Belgium, was liberated below. Yeah, that's it's one of the worst things here is these people probably had to find homes, things like that. They leave and come back after the Bulge has been defeated and are been crushed, basically. Now their houses are shambles. Just awful. Luzon supply ship is shelled. January 1945. Runs gauntlet of fire. Our long supply lines were attacked not only in the waters of the Pacific, but also at the landing beaches. This LST, packed with loaded vehicles, was subjected to severe Japanese artillery fire as it nosed up on the beach of the Lingayen Gulf, Luzon. Much of the material, however, was gotten through to the men on the smoke-shrouded battleground ashore. Yeah, Japanese are going to do anything to try to stop these supplies. So they're going to shell them from the water, when they're with their ships, or they're going to blast them as they're coming in on port. But really, it's not going to matter. The American logistical support here is actually kind of insane. It is just a never-ending, I'm trying to think of the word here. It's a never-ending just, oh, hey, we need more supplies. Get them out, get them out, get them out. We're giving supplies to everybody. The Soviets, the Brits, and ourselves as well. And the logistical support here is one of the greatest, I believe, in human history. In my opinion, it is the greatest. The supply lines, logistics, everything is just, it's astounding. Action in Alsace. January 1945. The French advance. 2 stages of an infantry and tank advance against an enemy strongpoint are recorded by these photographs. In the top picture, French infantrymen and tanks are shown as they made a rush across an open field to assault the concealed positions held by the Nazis. The smoke pall was probably laid down by the French to cloak the action. Below, the troops and armor have penetrated the woods and are pursuing the enemy over a swampy road. Yeah, so obviously, like they said, the French probably put the smoke down. It looks like they did because no one's even looking really that way. But to cover up the action so they can move forward. And these swampy roads must be just unbearable to march through. Because, you can see the standing water, the mud, your boots getting stuck, things like that. And then the tanks, they're going to just trudge on through. But hopefully they don't get stuck. That'd be the worst thing for me. A Nazi is unmasked. January 13th, 1945. Caught in an American uniform. Grim Yanks force a Nazi prisoner at Garlemont, Belgium, to take off United States Army shoes and pants which he was wearing during the Battle of the Belgian Bulge. Many Nazis slipped behind the American lines, treacherously camouflaged in Allied uniforms. Since this wounded Nazi is wearing only part of the uniform, he may have done so for warmth. Yeah, It's a very high likelihood if he's only wearing part of it, he wasn't trying to slip through. He was probably just wearing it for warmth. But now he's got a, deep pants. Hopefully they had some pants for him, but I really doubt they did. They probably didn't treat him the nicest right here. GI Chow for a Filipino gorilla. January 1945. Yum! United States Army sea rations taste mighty good to this 20-year-old Filipino girl who was a member of the native guerrilla forces for a year and one half. She carried a .38 Colt automatic, was in several scraps with the enemy, and had 2 Japanese kills to her credit. The Filipino underground forces were very helpful in smoothing the path of the American forces in Luzon. Yeah, so the Filipino guerrilla fighters, they have an American general. I can't remember his name for the life of me now. But he kind of gets them all together and to work together so that they can take down the Japanese. And we really shouldn't understate the help of the guerrillas. The guerrilla fighters in the Philippines did a lot of work. They worked hard, and especially once the Americans show up, they worked hard to clear a lot of this place. And one of the reasons the Philippines is conquered relatively as easily as it wasn't easy, but you know what I mean, was because of these guerrilla fighters. They did a lot of heavy lifting here for the easiness of invasion. Danger in the snow. January 1945. Engineers sweep for mines. Engineers of the American 75th Division search a snow-blanketed road for enemy mines before tanks move up to attack Commanster, Belgium. The snow made it difficult, too, for Belgian refugees below, who carry their blanket rolls along the cold road back to the liberated town of Remiville, Belgium. They fled from their homes when the Germans counterattacked in December. Yeah, you can see just the it's about a foot of snow, maybe about a foot of snow. Awful marching conditions, and very easily for an enemy to hide a mine. You want to be careful walking through this snow. That's why we have the metal detectors here, but finding those mines. And yeah, for these poor villagers, they gotta walk all the way back home. And freezing conditions, probably. Yeah, it gets cold this time of year, obviously. The WACs cease strange lands. January 1945. Getting oriented in the CBI theater. The WACs accompanied our armed forces to the China-Burma-India theater to perform important services in the support of the fighting. The Allies were faring better in the Burmese fighting, the British taking the important part of Akyab early in January. Here, WACs ride rickshaws. Up here. Rickshaws, my bad. Rickshaws. And below, remove their shoes before entering a temple. Yeah, you can see. They're probably like, oh, this is pretty fancy. That's something that you get to have happen very often. And yeah, you have to, many countries, you have to take your shoes off before you enter a temple. Many religions are like that. I believe, and someone would have to correct me, I believe Islam is similar in that way, but I could be very wrong about that. And if I am, I greatly apologize. But for these women who are more than likely Christian, because just the fact of the matter, they probably are, this would be a different experience, to say the least. Breaching the Vistula defenses. January 1945. Breakthrough. When the final big drive of the Russians erupted on January 12th between Warsaw and Krakow, the German defenses along the Vistula River were quickly breached. Above, Soviet troops forced the Vistula under enemy fire, and below, infantry of the 1st Ukrainian Army fight to expand the bridgehead on the left bank of the river barrier. The drive quickly carried deep into Poland. Yeah, so this is the big Soviet push finally. The Soviets have been waiting for this. They've kind of been relaxing a little, and there's been a little bit of a lull in the fighting here. But this is their breakthrough. They got to push hard, and they're going to push hard and fast. They're going to get to Berlin pretty quickly from this point on. It's not much more of the fighting for Germany. The Soviets are going to blast through them at this point. And with that, that's going to do it for this video. If you guys liked the video, leave a like. If you didn't, leave a comment. Tell me what I could improve on. I always appreciate your feedback. And as always, subscribe. It really does help out the channel. Thank you.